and thank you for being here. Welcome to the Pleasant Hill Chamber of Commerce annual State of the City's Mayor's Breakfast. So welcome. My name is Joe Stokely. I am your Chamber of Commerce's 2013 president. Thank you. You know, it's funny, I wasn't going to say any stupid jokes or anything like that. I was just going to do my thing. And I'm not going to say any, that's not funny. I'm not saying any stupid jokes. But it's funny, so you get a lot of advice. Oh, make jokes about Michael Harris, you know, say funny. Mike's a great guy. I had nothing, I'm not going to make any jokes about him. But I said, but what, should we do something like a roast or something like that? And Jack said, no, it would just be like the city chamber of, not chamber of commerce, but the city council meetings. They're a joke. They're funny. There's lots of comedy going on in there. So anyway, that wasn't me. I didn't think of that. Anyway, so
take that card out.
Anyway, so welcome. I want to thank, like always, Jeff and his staff here at Back 40 for taking care of us and feeding us and doing a splendid job like always. So thanks a lot, Jeff. As well as our chamber sponsors. We want to give a big shout out to Allied Waste, the City of Pleasant Hill, and Pacific Gas and Electric. Thank you very much for your support. We greatly appreciate it. I also want to give a big thank you to our chamber members, all the members of the Chamber of Commerce, as well as our board of directors for all their help and continued support. So thank you to all those people and businesses as well. Thank you very much. As some of you may know that we had our challenges toward the end of 2011 and during 2012 at the Chamber of Commerce. It was pretty touch and go. We almost had to fold up our tent and call it a day. But we hung in there and we fought back, and a lot of that had to do with the leadership and the integrity of one person to work through it, to keep us all together, and to help me be in front of you today. And that man is our chairman of the board of directors, that's Mr. Matt Wren. Please give a Thank you, Matt. That was last year. But now we're this year, and I'm happy to say that the chamber is back, and we're in the black. Yeah. The beginning of this year, January 1st, we hired Ms. Ann Luke as our administrative director, and she is doing a bang-up, knockout job. Thank you very much, Ann. She's doing an excellent job. We're happy to have her. Right now, we're in the hunt for another full-time position, director of membership. This person is going to take us to the next level. That's going to be out there working, supporting the businesses, and helping increase membership. So we're currently doing that. We're very excited about that. We have stabilized our finances, and we've paid off many of our debts. So this is like really great news. So very happy about that. This past October, we just had our 10th annual Art, Wine, and Jazz Festival. It was the best one ever. Best attendance and best revenue. We raised over $38,000 and closing out the year with a profit of $50,000 for the Chamber of Commerce. So very exciting news. Currently, our membership is just hovering around 300 members, and our goal by the end of this year with the new position with the new director of membership is we're having a goal of 450, and I'm hoping by the end of 3 years from now that we'll be over 700 members. We have the capability to do it. We're positioned in a great location, and I think that Pleasant Hill Chamber of Commerce can be the best Chamber of Commerce in this whole county, and that's my goal, and that's what I want us to do. So watch out, everybody else. That's what we're going to be doing in the future. I'm looking forward to continue working with the city of Pleasant Hill and the Pleasant Hill Park and Rec Department. We got a great relationship working together, doing excellent things, providing great services to the people and the businesses of this city. And I'm going to work hard to strengthen those relationships, to continue to make Pleasant Hill a great place to live and to do business. That's my goal for 2013, and I hope you're all going to help me make it happen. I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to be in this position. So with no further ado, it's my pleasure to bring up to here to speak to you today the Mayor of Pleasant Hill, Dr. Michael Harris.
Thank you, Joe. Good morning, everyone. First thing, I'm wearing a suit. Most of you are used to seeing me around town in shorts and a t-shirt or a shirt and jeans, but I do have a suit. I found a great place that you can rent a suit by the hour. And because it's due back at 9 o'clock, this is going to be a short speech. Normally, when you come to these events, you spend an hour just introducing everybody who is important. To me, each and every one of you is important. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to take just a minute, and I want each and every one of you to stand up and introduce yourself to somebody that you didn't know before you walked in this room. So everybody stand up and find someone you didn't know before you walked in this room and introduce yourself. Wasn't that a lot more fun and a lot less boring than, introducing all the electeds and all sorts of different things? When my wife Dawn comes to these kinds of things, she's always disappointed because everybody else gets introduced and she doesn't. So this time she got to introduce herself to somebody she hadn't met before, and somebody else got to meet her. But I hope you enjoyed meeting new friends, and I hope you continue those friendships. I also want to thank the Chamber for sponsoring this, and obviously our good friends at Back 40 for that delicious breakfast. And I will especially need to thank, as this presentation gets started, I need to thank Martin Ellis, our super duper public affairs director. I should say our award-winning Martin Ellis. He received the Community Plus Award as an outstanding employee of one of the three sponsors of the Community Awards nights, the city, the Rec and Park, and the Chamber. And if he hadn't won it already, he should have won it based on his help in putting together this presentation. Now, I'm not one for making long speeches unless it's something really important. I'm not one for making boring speeches because I get bored myself. So I'm going to be a little bit more lighthearted than you might expect from most mayors' addresses. And I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to do two things. I'm going to present my top 10 list about what I like about Pleasant Hill. And then I'm going to introduce you to a new initiative that I'm proposing that we start this year. So let's start with the top 10 list. And number 10 on Michael Harris's top 10 list. We have two newly elected council members and the new city clerk. Ken Carlson and Tim Flaherty have recently been elected to the city council, and Kim Lemke is elected as city clerk. I know Tim and Ken are really disappointed that they're not number one. We had lots of discussion on this. You're lucky that you're in the top 10. I originally had you at number 23. Number 9. Number 9, the DVC Plaza. We are finally making progress in this wonderful piece of property and having it turn into something that is really going to be a benefit to the city. We don't know what the final design is going to be. We don't know who the final tenants are going to be. But we have an opportunity to develop this into a fine retail and housing area, if we decide to go with mixed use, that'll be a real benefit to the citizens of the community. So this is going to be positive, and I hope the mayor who is addressing you next year can give you a progress report and maybe even have some buildings on the ground. Number 8 on my list. We did a terrific job. We did a terrific job in getting grant money to help improve pedestrian and bicycle safety. This is myself, former Mayor Hanekek, who some of you might remember, Vice Mayor Jack Weir, and our city engineer, Mario Moreno, actually inaugurating this new crossing on Grayson. Those of you who have traveled the area and go by any of the areas where the trail crosses some main streets, you've seen some significant improvements. This one is signalized because that is a very major intersection. And Mario and his crew have done a terrific job at getting grants to support these kinds of good works. Now, those of you who think this might look familiar, you've seen something similar to this in the past, we've had some experience on crossing roads. Here we are a couple of years ago in Liverpool, England, and we actually practiced there where we crossed Abbey Road. And if you're not a Beatles fan, I apologize, but Martin told me everybody would get this joke. They should. Next on our list is number 7. Number 7, I mentioned the good folks in our engineering department. Number 7 is our capital improvement projects. We have been able to raise money to do some wonderful things to beautify and enhance our city. They include this beautiful rendering that's going to be at Pleasant Hill Road in Geary. I'm sure you're all familiar with the fact that we're in the process of widening Buzzkirk to make that a more usable and pedestrian and vehicle-friendly street so that we can have better access to our Crossroads Shopping Center and the new development that's going in the south part of that. This is all possible because our good folks and the city staff have raised over $2 million in grants. That does deserve a big hand because these are projects that we couldn't do with our general fund money, and we probably would be waiting years and years to do them if it wasn't for the expertise of our engineering staff and others in writing grants. So my hat's off to them. I want to thank them very, very much. Number 6 on my list. We have a wonderful economic development program headed by the wonderful Kelly Calhoun. And this economic development program is designed to enhance the business community, members of the chamber and other businesses in town, as well as to help bring in new businesses, to make business successful. Pleasant Hill is one of those cities that is driven by sales tax. Unfortunately, we are a low property tax city, so we're dependent on sales tax for a good portion of our revenue. So when we have a healthy business community, we have a healthy city. And we want to do everything we can to make sure we have a healthy business community. We also have a facade improvement program which will allow property owners in some of the various shopping districts to improve the appearance of their properties. We know that that will bring and attract more customers. So if you have a business or own a piece of property that you would like to have the facade improved, please contact Kelly. We have grants and we have loans available to help in this process. Number 5. One of my favorites is special events. What makes Pleasant Hill special to me are the events and the people that are involved in those events. My favorite, obviously, are listed here: Art, Wine, and Jazz, the summer concert by the lake. Some of you don't call it a lake, some of you think it's a pond. It just doesn't sound right to say summer concerts by the pond. It's summer concerts by the lake. And if you haven't attended one of them, you should. They are a lot of fun. We have great music. They're organized by our good friends on the Civic Action Commission. It's a wonderful time for music and friendship. And please come to one. They'll be starting soon right here at City Hall. I also enjoy the 4th of July celebration, one of the best in the county, and I hope that you will come to that. And obviously this new one, Light Up the Night, has been a huge success. This is one that we do during the holiday season. Brings hundreds and hundreds of people to the downtown. They have an opportunity to meet Santa. I had a great time sitting on Santa's lap. Supervisor Mitchoff asked me if I got what I wanted. All I wanted to do was sit on his lap, so I guess I did get what I wanted. Thank you. And here's some folks enjoying our very special events. And number 4 on my list, Community Service Day. When I was mayor 8 years ago, at a breakfast similar to this, I introduced this idea of the community coming together and doing something on one day a year to improve the quality of life of people in Pleasant Hill. And we started out the first year with 250 folks showing up, getting a free breakfast from our good friends at the Lions, and then going off to projects throughout the city. Over the last 8 years, we have brought together enough volunteers where we have collectively put in over 25,000 hours of volunteer time in working on projects that have beautified the city and made the city a better place to live. So I look forward to seeing you on Community Service Day this year. Here are some good folks from our last one. And I need to let you know that not only do we have a great Community Service Day, but we have an award-winning Community Service Day. Each year, the League of California Cities selects certain projects in different cities for what they call the Helen Putnam Award. Our city, Pleasant Hill, along with our good friends in Walnut Creek who took our idea and made it work in their city, won the Helen Putnam Award for the best community service and economic development program of the year. So let's give ourselves a big round of applause for this wonderful effort. Number 3, new businesses. Hey, yes, new businesses. Hold on a second. I've got some props. In-N-Out Burger. I was just there yesterday. By the way, if you don't know, they have a special menu. If you don't like what they are serving on the regular menu, go to their website and look up their special menu, and you can actually get your burgers done medium rare. Didn't know that, did you? Other things that you can do. But it's been a great asset to the city. People were concerned about the traffic congestion, but we worked out a management plan that makes it safe and effective for people to go there and get their food. By the way, if you don't like waiting in the long lines for the drive-thru, just park your car and go in and order up at the counter. You'll be out of there in 5 minutes. And, next prop, Zachary's. Now, Zachary's Pizza is an institution in the Bay Area. They have 2 restaurants in Berkeley, and being a professor at UC Berkeley for all of these years, I've eaten many of their pizzas, and I'm just delighted that they have come to downtown Pleasant Hill. They had a special opening last night, and I had an opportunity to eat 4 or 5 of their pizzas. And I tell you, they're all delicious. It's going to be a real popular place in our city, and we hope that you will take advantage of them being in our city. We welcome them as we do all new businesses. I don't have hats for Safeway, which opened where the old Mervyn's was, but that's doing a great business. Nor do I have hats for the Rack. Nordstrom's Rack is going to be here. Hold on, we have Supervisor Newcroft who is wearing something from the Nordstrom's Rack. And my wife is very excited about Nordstrom's Rack opening as well. Before I go on to the next one, I want to mention I did introduce the 2 newly elected council members and the newly elected clerk. I failed to mention that at the last election, Councilmember David Durant was reelected, and so was our treasurer, Mark Cilio. And Mark brags about the fact that he got more votes than anybody else running for office. And the point he's making is he ran unopposed. What he fails to tell you is that there were 79 write-in votes for somebody else. Now, the treasurer is in charge of our finances, investing our money, making sure that it's safe, making sure we get a good return on investment. What Mark doesn't know, and what really troubles me, is that 79 people wrote in one name thinking that this one person could do a better job than Mark. That person was Mickey Mouse. So next time you see Mark and he brags about having the most votes in the election, let him know that there are at least 79 people in town who think Mickey Mouse can do the job as well as he can, if not better. And now, let me go on to my next one. What do I have next, Martin? Number 2. And number 2 is our good work from our friends at the Rec and Park District. And I want to introduce the chair of their board, Bobby Glover, who can give you an update on all the wonderful stuff that the Rec and Park District has done and will be doing. Bobby.
Thank you, Michael. I'm going to be brief. As I walked out the door this morning, my wife, as she always does, reminded me, she said, remember 1988, Bill Clinton, who one of the greatest public speakers of all time, his speech at the Democratic National Convention. The most applause he got was when he said, "In conclusion." So, Michael, I promise to stay within the 45 minutes you provided me. Right. I do want to thank everybody, thank the city, thank Michael for offering the opportunity for us to present here. I do quickly want to go through and recognize our board that's here this morning. Vice Chair Sherry Sterrett, Board Member Sandy Bonato, Board Member Dennis Donahue, and we have a new board member, not an elected board member yet, an appointed member. Please give a round of applause to Mr. Zach Schess. In 2009, the district passed a bond measure with overwhelming support from the district and the residents of Pleasant Hill, $28 million to build 3 new facilities, a new teen center, senior center, community center, and upgrades to Pleasant Oaks Park. Our first building that we opened on October 20th is our teen center. We're extremely proud of the teen center, provides a safe and fun place for our teens to hang out, also has structured activities. It has a pool table, sports equipment, ping pong, foosball, also has homework help, computers. But most importantly, the thing I'm most proud of is it has an air hockey table. So we invite everybody to come down. I'm looking at it as kind of a dispute resolution opportunity amongst the boards. We've got a split vote. We're going to take it to the teen center, hash it out over air hockey. It also has the opportunity for rentals, and if you've got a teen birthday party, if you've got a birthday around the corner, come check it out. We've got an overwhelming list of folks that are coming in to rent it, so check it out. It's a great building. On January 5th, we opened our brand new senior center. I think we had over 3,000 people attend. This new senior center, or as I like to think of it, 23,000 square feet of awesomeness. It's nearly 3 times larger than the old senior center. It's got a new banquet hall for 250 people, a dance studio, a computer lab, classrooms, arts and crafts room, game room, library lounge, dining room, and a state-of-the-art kitchen. It's also, many of you have probably attended a couple crab feeds lately and will attend a couple more. Another great opportunity. It's one of the premier rentals in town, so please check that out as well. We're extremely proud of our new senior center. And last, some of you probably noticed recently that we had a monumental occasion. This week we went vertical on construction of the community center. While it's been difficult for many of us that had our 8th grade grad dance at the old community center to see it torn down, the new center and all 26,000 square feet of it is really going to blow everyone away. It really will be the crown jewel of the city, and we look forward to having everybody out later this year for the grand opening of the new community center. The last thing I wanted to mention is we do have the upgrades at Pleasant Oaks Park that are taking place as well. We're looking at going out to bid early this year, with that beginning shortly after the PHBA season ends in June, and getting those completed as soon as possible as well. Now, one last thing I did want to mention is we do have a capital campaign project that's going underway at this time. As many of you know, the $28 million that went to fund these buildings cannot fund the furnitures, fixtures, and equipment that go inside those buildings. Basically, you flip the building upside down, anything that shakes out can't be paid for by the bond, so we've undergone an extensive fundraising effort. And I'm happy to say that as we enter the halfway point of the project construction, the halfway point of our capital campaigns, we've raised over $700,000 in private donations and contributions to the $1.3 million that we're going to need to furnish these buildings. So thank you all, and that wouldn't be possible without the undying support of all of you here today and the folks in the district and the city. I do want to thank the City of Pleasant Hill for its support throughout the bond construction project. Without the support of the City Council, the Planning Commission, the Architectural Review Commission, the City Manager, the staff, everybody, we wouldn't be able to do what we've been able to do. You've been a great partner, and on behalf of the district, I want to thank you. Lastly, Mr. Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to share all that we've got going on at the Rec and Park District, and I and the entire Pleasant Hill Recreation and Park District family stand behind you and look forward to another great year for the citizens of Pleasant Hill, and stand ready to assist. So thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. There are a lot of folks who don't know that we have a independent, separate Rec and Park District. So when somebody congratulates me on the new senior center, I say, you're welcome. However, when somebody complains about the fact that they raised the price of the pancake breakfast to $5, I say, that's not the city, that's the Rec and Park District. All in good fun. By the way, any disputes we have between the city and the rec, we can do over foosball, okay? All right, folks. Number one, most important thing about Pleasant Hill, and what I love most about this city, are the people. The people of this city are terrific. Here is one stellar example. These are last year's Community Award winners. These are folks who in various categories have done outstanding work on behalf of our city. For every one of these wonderful people up here, there are scores of other people who do wonderful things for our city. It's the people that make Pleasant Hill great. And I'm counting on the people of Pleasant Hill to continue to make Pleasant Hill great. So, I'm going to propose that in order to make Pleasant Hill great, we need to educate our children. Here is one of our volunteers from Community Service Day, probably our youngest volunteer a number of years ago. One of my favorite sayings is, "Our children are the future we may not see." Now, my parents believed that when they told me I needed to do my homework, and that it was important for me to get a good education so that I could lead a purposeful and a meaningful life. I told that to my kids as well, and I'm sure those of you out here who are parents, when you look at your kids, you believe the same thing, that your children are the future. And you want to make sure that your children have every educational opportunity available to them so that they can succeed. Education is the key to success. Now, I've been an educator for over 50 years, and I've done it at all levels, everything from kindergarten through graduate school. And I recognize the fact that without education, our future is going to be pretty dim and bleak. But with an educated society, we have, the world is our oyster. We can do just about anything we want. So I'm going to, today, propose a new initiative. We're calling this the Pleasant Hill Education Initiative. This is going to be a multi-year community-wide volunteer effort, notice that, to enhance the quality of education in Pleasant Hill, for Pleasant Hill students. What are our goals? Our goals are simple. We want to provide educational opportunities that can't be met by our local schools based on budget cuts and other restrictions. We want to better prepare our kids for success in college or success in a career or both. We would love to increase the graduation rates. We know that if you don't graduate from high school, you're going to have a heck of a hard time out there in the future. If you do graduate from high school, you're going to have a step up and you'll be on the road to success. And we want to make learning fun. We want to make sure that the atmosphere that our kids are involved with is something that's challenging to them, but they have a good time doing it, so they understand the importance of education. Now you say, oh boy, how can we do that? That's so hard, that's so tough. Well, let me just point you back to the fact that we've done it before and we can do it again. I mentioned Community Service Day a few moments ago. We're now entering our 9th year. And it started with a small volunteer effort by a number of very dedicated individuals, and it just grew. And I envision that this Pleasant Hill Education Initiative can do the same thing. Good people working together, helping our youngsters, is going to be something that I think is going to be an important task for us, not just this year, but it's a multi-year task. I'm pleased to say that the City Council endorsed this enthusiastically at its last meeting. It's been supported by our Education Commission. It's been supported by the Pleasant Hill, the Foundation for Pleasant Hill Education, and I will formally present this to our good friends at the Rec and Park at their meeting next week, and I hope they will endorse it as well. I'm also pleased to say that it's been endorsed by our Superintendent of Public Instruction for the Mount Diablo Unified School District, Dr. Stephen Lawrence, and by the principals of Pleasant Hill School. So we've got the backbones of a program here that have the right people in place to start moving forward. We have lots of possible programs, and these are just ones that I've come up with, but there are many more that we could do. Tutoring. Obviously, volunteers tutoring either during school or after school is going to enhance our children's learning. We all know that the more time you spend with a child who is trying to read, the more reading opportunities they get, the better reader they get. And the key to success is reading. If a child is not reading ready by the time they enter 3rd grade, they are going to just suffer significantly as they go through the rest of their education. So here's an opportunity for us to spend time helping kids learn to read and making them better prepared for the rest of their educational career. Volunteers will be involved both in the classroom and after school. We're going to be working on a program to make sure that that can happen and make sure that that happens efficiently. We may put on forums, workshops, and summits in which we bring together knowledgeable individuals in the education field to help us understand what are the best practices of how we can enhance education. And we'll ask parents to participate in these so that they can take an active role in the educational process of not just their children, but other children in the community as well. We hope to be able to teach life skills. This is important. Lots of folks who get out of high school haven't a clue how to apply for a job. They have no idea how to write a resume. They have no idea how to appear for an interview. And they have no idea what they want to do and how they can go about doing it. By teaching life skills, we will not only enhance their educational opportunities, but we will enhance their future financial opportunities. So I'm looking forward to that kind of program. We can do teaching labs in the community. I attended one such lab last year at the Pleasant Hill Library. It was great fun. The kids it was an inventor's night. They came with their own remote controlled cars that they made, and they came with their paper rockets that they shot off in the parking lot. No cars were damaged in the process. And not only was it a wonderful learning opportunity for the kids, but it was a heck of a lot of fun. What better atmosphere could you have for learning when you have an opportunity to have fun doing it? And after school enrichment is something that I think we need to focus on as well. We all know that some of the programs that are enrichment programs in the school have had to be reduced or eliminated. Music, for instance, and some art programs. There's no reason why we can't use volunteers in our community who are talented and trained in various aspects to teach music, the arts, theater, math, or science. Now, I am qualified, based on my background in education, to teach science and math, but my musical skills and my theatrical skills are next to nil, so I couldn't teach that. My wife said they're non-existent. But there are those of you out there who are talented musicians and talented artists who would love to teach the next generation the fun and the enjoyment that you get out of expressing yourself through music and the arts. What a wonderful opportunity. Now, who's going to be involved in this? I mentioned this is a community-wide venture. Obviously, the city is going to be involved. Our Education Commission is going to take a lead role in doing this, but we're also calling on our Commission on Aging and our Civic Action Commission to be involved as well. Our police department can be involved as well in helping with some job shadowing and some ideas as to law enforcement as a future career. The Rec and Park District, I'm obviously going to enlist their help. They have wonderful facilities which we can use, hopefully, for after-school activities. The teen center would be a wonderful place to have after-school workshops. The senior center, when it's not being used by our seniors, would be terrific. And I'm certainly looking forward to the new community center as another avenue where we could do after-school or evening programs. And I want to take advantage of that wonderful teen council that works with the teen center, young people who care about each other, and get them involved to help their peers get a better education. And our friends at the YMCA have after-school programs, and we can use their resources as well. So again, community-wide participation. I already mentioned our local schools are already committed to doing this through the Mount Diablo Unified School District. We've already got the parents involved, we need to get the teachers, and we need to get the parents involved. And I know that we can do that because I know this community. The library, I mentioned before, wonderful resource, and I already have a volunteer from the library to be involved. Patrick, thank you very much. Our foundations, both the Foundation for Pleasant Hill Education and the Pleasant Hill Community Foundation, will be resources that I hope to use to make this happen. We have another wonderful resource in our community. We have two institutions of higher learning. We have Diablo Valley College and JFK University. They both train individuals to be teachers. JFK has folks who are in other disciplines, business, psychology, and what have you. What a wonderful opportunity for these folks to be mentors to high school and middle school students so that they can understand what kind of careers are available for them and help them on the path to achieve success. UC Berkeley is going to be involved. I've already talked to several people there, and there are some departments that we can use their resources as well. By the way, we've had partnerships with these other institutions in other ways over the years, so it's nothing new. We're not trying to do something that hasn't, these partnerships haven't been done before. But this is going to be one in which we're going to bring all of these groups and organizations together. So it is going to be a monumental task, but one that we can handle. And I'm obviously counting on our good friends in the media, our 2 local papers, The Focus and The Record, to publicize and promote the events that we're going to be doing, and certainly our web pages through the Patch and through our own city website will be another avenue in which we're going to do this. And Chamber of Commerce folks, obviously we need the business community involved. I can envision members of the Chamber taking on a young person as a mentee and bringing that person into their business on a once a week basis for a couple of hours so that they can understand what it is to be in the business world, so that they can learn actual job-related skills. And I'm hoping that we will get a huge turnout from our business community, and not just our Chamber of Commerce, but we have other local and regional businesses that we're here. We have Allied Waste and we have PG&E and other folks who are big supporters of our community, and I hope we can count on their resources in addition to our Chamber members to make this a reality. And I'm also hoping that we can enlist our construction trade folks. There are lots of folks who go to our high school who do not want to go to a 4-year college. They want to get a career in one of the trades. And I'm hoping through mentoring and tutoring programs and internships, we can enlist the help of our construction trade unions to bring young people into their businesses to learn what it is to be an electrician or a carpenter or whatever it is, and give them the tools they need to make them a success in that particular field. So this morning, I am putting out a challenge, a call to action. You, each and every one of you, can make a difference in the future of our community by donating 1 hour per week of your time to this endeavor. How many of you are willing to do that? Okay. We're having hand out a sign-up sheet. And I'm asking each of you to be among the very first volunteers to be involved in this program by signing up. Obviously, it's not a firm commitment, but at least it's showing that you have an interest. And we will contact you as we move through this process to get your involvement and your help. One of the first tasks is to form a steering committee of folks from these various stakeholders. I'm hoping that the steering committee can be formed and have its first meeting by the end of this month. And I'm hoping that the steering committee, with the help of all of you volunteers, will have its first programs launched in the fall. We can do it. This is a great community. We've shown that we can come together and do this kind of thing in the past. I know that we can do it now. And as if you needed another incentive to volunteer, those of you who are reluctant to sign your names today, I want to refer to an article that was in the Sunday paper a couple of weeks ago talking about how to live a long and healthy life. One of the things it stated was that volunteering can decrease depression. Any of you are depressed? Sign up. But the more interesting finding out of a study at the University of Pittsburgh was that volunteering leads to more enjoyable love lives. Here's an added benefit. As if you didn't want to do this just because you're good people and you believe it's a good cause, you will be happier. Your spouses and mates will be happier. Well, I hope you don't have spouses and mates. Your spouses or mates will be happier because volunteering is one of those wonderful things that you can do. One of my favorite quotes is by Franklin Delano Roosevelt. He said, we may not be able to prepare the future for our children, but we can at least prepare our children for the future. And that's what I hope we will do through the Pleasant Hill Education Initiative. And next slide, please, Martin. And for more information or to volunteer online, we already have a link on the Pleasant Hill website. This is our link where you can go and you can volunteer to be one of our steering committee members, or you can simply volunteer to be one of the hundreds and hopefully thousands of volunteers who donate an hour a week to improving the quality of life for our children. So in closing, as Bobby said, famous words, I hope you join me. Timothy Michael Flaherty. Timothy Patrick Flaherty. I'll get it right. In closing, I hope you will all join me in this effort because our kids are counting on you. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Well, I believe that concludes our breakfast. I hope you guys had a great time and a good breakfast. Thanks again to Jeff and the Back 40. And we're looking forward to a very prosperous 2013. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a great day.
And the timing is great. I'll get the feedback by 9 o'clock. I won't have to pay an extra hour's rent.